SCP-1360 is called, I don't know what it's called. It's spelled PSHUD, and I guess should? No idea. It's an android, and I have a feeling that it has to do with Anderson Robotics. I've never delved into Anderson Robotics specifically yet, but I've heard a lot about them in other SCP videos. Really intriguing stuff. I'm dying to get into this one. This is the Rubber, guys. Make sure to subscribe to his channel and mine if you like reaction videos, and let's get into this SCP animation.
Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber.
Hey,
Today
Rubber.
we bring you SCP Foundation Euclid Class Object SCP-1360.
How do you pronounce his name?
SCP-1360,
That's
also known as PSHUD-31,
No, he
is
don't
an
even
animate
say it.
and fully articulated
PSHUD,
android.
okay.
1360 is 1.83 meters tall and
Look at
weighs
his
about
hands.
100 kilograms.
His hands are huge.
1360's body is composed of molded polycarbonate casings built over an aluminum frame and two white PMMA circles, each measuring approximately 3 centimeters in diameter.
Okay.
These circles are accepted to be the android's source of eyesight.
Sure.
The molded polycarbonate casings are covered in a black fabric of aramid fiber, referred to as 13601.
Whoa.
This material is
own
lighter and
SCP?
stronger than Kevlar and is self-repairing,
it's
with adjacent damaged
anomalous.
13601 fibers reweaving and fusing back together. The material is also capable of repairing damage to 1360's polycarbonate casings, as 13601 fibers will fill in damaged areas during the repair process of the outer covering.
That's really
This
cool.
covering acts as a skin of sorts and has a universal thickness of 1 centimeter.
Right.
The number 031 is woven into 1360's left arm in a red variant of 13601.
30 others?
SCP-1360's fingers contain a series of tools.
Look at a big.
These tools are
that's why they
accessed by
big hands.
unscrewing the tip of the finger. 1360's left thumb is a steel needle attached to a roll of red thread made from the same material as 136001. Its left index finger is a 5.1 centimeter wide roll of patches made of the same material as SCP-136001.
Or to repair himself?
However,
That's really
1360's
cool.
right thumb is a pair of miniature steel fabric scissors. On its right index is a steel scalpel. Both the middle and ring fingers are hollow and seemingly serve only as storage space.
Okay.
Before being found by the SCP Foundation, 1360 was previously owned by a man named James and his daughter, Sarah.
Okay.
1360 was first found during a raid on a Paratech trafficking warehouse in Seattle.
Anderson Robotics.
Apparently, 1360 was made by Anderson Robotics. Anderson Robotics is a Paratech firm specializing in the sale of anomalous robots, androids, artificial intelligence, computer programs, and cybernetics. Below is a description of the events that unfolded after 1360 was found and brought back to the Foundation for containment and research. 1360 stared at researcher Conwell. Its white plastic eyes seemed emotionless as it followed Conwell's every move.
Sure.
4 security officers stood nearby, each waiting for the incapacitated automaton to attempt to escape.
Okay.
Conwell pressed record on a small tape recorder on the surgical table at his side. Jacob Conwell, July 8, 2013. Regular scheduled removal of SCP-1360-1. Samples are to be removed from SCP-1360's lower torso, left forearm, and right thigh. Subject is fully cooperative prior to 1360-1 removal. Recommended security team is present and on standby. Conwell then grabbed a small scalpel and approached the droid. He began to cut, but stopped when a small slip of paper was visibly poking out from 1360's left middle fingertip.
Weird.
Be ready to restrain it.
Okay.
He then slowly made his way to the droid's hand and grabbed its middle finger.
Okay.
1360 immediately started to struggle against its restraints. 4 security officers quickly got to work, holding the droid down.
That's so good.
Got it. He pulled several folded pieces of notebook paper from 1360's finger.
Alright.
Keep it restrained until it calms down. Make sure to confiscate its notebook and pens before you leave.
So it was
Conwell looked back as he stepped into the hallway. The droid's constant gaze only subsided once the containment door slid shut.
Wow.
Conwell let out a heavy sigh as he stared at the pieces of notebook paper lying on the desk in front of him.
What is he
On
drawing?
each piece, there was a small sketch.
Okay.
The first depicted an incredibly detailed representation of 1360 running.
Okay.
On 1360's shoulder was a young girl in a summer dress with a flower design. Her long hair was drawn fluttering behind her as 1360
Memories
ran.
of
Her arms stretched upwards toward the sky.
That was with it?
However, her face was left completely blank. No nose, no eyes, or mouth.
Weird.
A second drawing showed 1360 shaking hands with a man in a suit. The man had short hair and appeared to stand half a foot taller than 1360 itself.
Oh, wow.
The detail that was placed into drawing the creases and pleats of the suit was exquisite, but once again, the man's face was blank.
Weird.
The third drawing had 1360 walking with a little girl through what appeared to be a park. The little girl seemed to skip along as it held 1360's hand.
That owned him before
Both were adorned in party hats. However, yet again, the girl's face was left blank.
I wonder why.
The final drawing was of 1360 wielding a pistol, side by side with what appeared to be two other men adorned in dress shirts and ties covered by bulletproof vests. One of them was brandishing a shotgun, while the other carried a machine gun. Their two faces were left completely blank. Conwell placed his head in his hands as he sighed, sliding away from his desk to spin in his swivel chair.
I'm kind of confused.
He continued to sit in silence for a few more moments, then stood up and walked out of his room.
Okay.
All right, 1360. Conwell sat down across the table and placed a small notepad and pen in front of him.
He's calm now.
SCP-1360 looked down at the table. The room remained silent for a few moments, but eventually 1360 picked up the pen and began to write. After talking with my superiors, I've been ordered to return your sketches, notebook, and pen to you if you cooperate with me during this interview. For all purposes, cooperation will require that you answer all of my questions. What do you say? Okay. Excellent. First things first. I'll need you to confirm a few theories I have about your drawings. They are depictions of you with your previous owners, James and his daughter. Are they not? They are. I thought so. This brings me to my next question. Why were you so desperate to get them back when we discovered them? Why put up such a fight? I didn't think you'd return them. Even if we didn't, couldn't you have just waited until we gave you your pen and paper back and drawn them again? I didn't know if I would have that kind of time.
Oh, wow.
What do you mean?
This was like a survival thing.
Anderson can remotely erase my client memory. I don't know why it has not been erased yet. I wanted those drawings so that I might have something to look back on and remember them by. I didn't know if I would have the time to wait until I could draw them again.
Poor thing.
I see. If that's the case, why leave the faces blank? Your drawings are so detailed, yet you leave out one of the most important parts of human expression.
Right.
Anderson's programming prevents me from using any more detail. That is the best I can do. It might still be too much.
Wow.
It appeared as if obtaining James's identity and a new lead for finding Anderson was not going to happen. Conwell then got up from his chair and slid the drawings the rest of the way towards 1360.
Cool.
That's all we needed, 1360. Feel free to take your sketches back. I'll have your notebook and pens returned to you in a little bit. Conwell began to collect his paperwork. Conwell silently watched as the droid was escorted out of the room.
He's all calm now,
Several weeks after the interview, researcher Conwell was once again scheduled to harvest 1360-1. Following the usual procedure, he and 4 security officers rolled a restraint table into 1360's containment cell. The security officer immediately prepared to transfer the droid from its normal restraints in the cell corner to the table when they noticed the droid was holding up its notebook. A single message was neatly written across the page. May I ask you a question? You may. Can you tell me anything about these people I drew? Conwell looked over at the droid. It was holding up its sketches. 1360, you don't know anything about them? The droid shook its head in response.
Wow.
It then held up a third sheet of paper.
Anderson
This one with a note written on it. Client memory deleted. We're sorry, 3-1, but as you know, our client's privacy is our highest priority. Things were getting just a little too close for comfort. Anderson. I'm so sorry, 1360. I wish I could tell you who they were. I wish I knew about them too.
Man, that's so sad though. Oh man. I really want to find out some more about Anderson Robotics. It seems pretty intriguing. I love the futuristic stuff like AI and robots too, so I think I'd like it a lot. You guys, let me know what I should watch as far as Anderson Robotics. If you got a good video to recommend, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the Rubber and me if you like reaction videos. And thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.